even without the knee, that should have been a knockdown. I thought I should have won a competitive fight. I think I did what I needed to do necessary to make the rounds. I'm just a little frustrated with the scorecards. I thought I should have won.
Did Gervonta Davis take a knee, and should he have been deducted a point and in the end lost that fight to Roach, in your opinion?
Yeah, in my opinion, it was a draw. He take a knee.
That's why I don't want to box no more. I want to do therapy, right? But I feel as though if I do therapy, it will lose the fire that I have inside me.
In a dramatic twist following the rumored announcement of their highly anticipated rematch, Lamont Roach made an unexpected appearance at Gervonta Tank Davis's training facility. The move has sent shockwaves through the boxing world, adding yet another chapter to the heated rivalry that began with their controversial draw. Their previous encounter was marred by controversy, most notably in the pivotal 9th round, when Davis took a knee after a sharp jab from Roach. Technical issues prevented an instant replay review, and the referee's decision not to rule it a knockdown left many fans and analysts questioning the outcome. With both fighters now demanding a decisive rematch, the stage has been set for a bout that promises to settle the score once and for all.
What was going through your mind when you heard the decision?
Nobody like a draw, you know, from a guy that get knockouts and things like that, but it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should have did more. I was lost in the, I lost track in the rounds. That's why we need, what is it called? Yeah, man. I didn't know what round it was. Facts.
Tank, Eric Blum from DailyMail.com. First off, your coach just said, can you confirm, did you get your hair done 2 days before the fight?
Yeah.
Shortly after the rematch was reportedly confirmed, witnesses report that Lamont Roach made a bold statement by showing up at Davis's gym. Clad in his workout gear and exuding confidence, Roach walked into the facility where Davis was immersed in his training routine. Eyewitnesses described a tense atmosphere as Roach approached Davis, seemingly with one clear message: the fight isn't over, and he's ready to settle the score in the ring. Though Davis appeared momentarily taken aback by the sudden intrusion, the brief yet charged exchange underscored the intensity of the rivalry and the personal stakes involved. The incident quickly spread across social media, with videos and photos capturing the raw emotion of the moment. Fans and pundits alike praised Roach's audacity, viewing his gym appearance as a calculated move to get under Davis's skin ahead of the rematch. The online chatter has only intensified the buzz around the upcoming fight, with many predicting that this public display of bravado could serve as a psychological edge for Roach. Prominent voices in the boxing community have weighed in on the development. Some analysts see the gym confrontation as an extension of the fierce competitive spirit both fighters share, while others believe it's a strategic effort to disrupt Davis's focus during his training sessions. This unexpected gym visit adds a new layer of intensity to an already charged rivalry. Beyond settling old scores, the rematch promises to be a battle of wills, with both fighters determined to prove who truly deserves the title. As governing bodies like the WBA continue to monitor the situation, this public showdown has only reinforced the notion that nothing will stand in the way of these two warriors in their quest for supremacy. With the rematch on the horizon, all eyes will be on the ring as Davis and Roach prepare to settle the controversy once and for all. The upcoming bout is already being touted as one of the most must-watch events in the lightweight division, where every punch thrown and every moment of psychological warfare could make all the difference. Meanwhile, Canelo Alvarez has also shared his thoughts on this fight. This week,
did Gervonta Davis take a knee, and should he have been deducted a point and in the end lost that fight to Roach, in your opinion?
Yeah, in my opinion, it was a draw. He take a knee. And plus the corner go up and put it a towel in the face. That's a disqualification for sure. I'm talking about the rules, but it's not my business.
Davis stated on social media that the rematch can be soon, particularly mentioning the end of May as a potential date. Heading into the fight, Davis appeared to be contemplating early retirement at 30. However, he has now stated he plans to fight like 4 more times, with one of those bouts ideally being a rematch against Roach, and without the usual lengthy pauses that have marked his career in recent years. Davis demonstrated his ability to handle a quick turnaround in 2023, taking on 2 fights in a short span. He first defeated Hector Luis Garcia by stoppage on January 7th. then returned to the ring just over 3 months later to face Ryan Garcia on April 22nd, securing another stoppage victory. The controversy surrounding Davis versus Roach went beyond the usual debates that come with a draw. It centered on a pivotal moment in the 9th round when referee Steve Willis chose not to call Davis's voluntary knee a knockdown. The New York State Athletic Commission is attributing its failure to review the replay to a technical issue, despite replay reviews being permitted in the state. Calls have emerged for the fight to be reevaluated, with some even advocating for it to be overturned in Roach's favor, though that remains unlikely. This isn't just because Davis is the bigger draw, but because even if the knockdown had been officially recognized, there's no way to determine how the fight, or even the remainder of that round, would have played out. Fighters often adjust their strategies after being knocked down, and retroactively declaring it a 10-8 round for Roach, a score judges weren't obligated to give in the first place, sets a risky precedent. Athletic commissions tend to be cautious about altering results after the fact, and this situation is no exception. The draw call will probably stand, despite its unpopularity, and there is some rational justification for this as well. The rematch is now highly sought after, far more than the original fight ever was, and that first bout still drew solid numbers at the gate in Brooklyn. Tank versus Roach 2 feels inevitable, almost a necessity. If it doesn't happen, it won't just fuel the usual ducking debates around Davis, it will leave an undeniable void in his legacy. This was a fight we witnessed, one that demands a second chapter. However, it may be challenging for premier boxing champions to quickly allocate that kind of budget for another event by late May. While fans fully expect the rematch to happen this year, a 3-month turnaround seems improbable. In an exclusive interview with Boxing Scene on Thursday, Roach expressed confidence that Davis will exercise the rematch clause in their contract. At the same time, he trusts the New York State Athletic Commission to deliver a fair ruling on the controversial events of the 9th round at Barclays Center. Roach said, "I hope a rematch happens sooner rather than later. Everybody's still talking about the fight and it's 5 days later. It's been a huge spectacle, a topic of discussion, the review by the commission and the fight. With this build-up, why not strike while the iron's hot? I'm already contractually tied to a rematch. If they call me, I'll be ready." Regarding the commission ruling, a person with knowledge of the matter informed Boxing Scene on Thursday that a decision is expected soon, most likely by the beginning of next week. Roach said, "I think it definitely plays in our favor that there hasn't been a ruling yet. There's something to consider and think about when it comes to the outcome. If they had a decision, they'd be point blank. We're going to move on." Referee Steve Willis could have docked Davis points or worse for taking the knee, turning his back on Roach and reaching into the ring with his trainer. Instead, Willis chose to exercise his discretion by allowing the bout to continue without penalizing Davis, who also avoided repercussions from an instant replay review due to Prime Video pay-per-view producers failing to provide the footage to the commission's ringside official in time for a proper review before the start of the 10th round. Sentiment is growing in the boxing world that the New York Commission is inclined to declare the bout a no contest. This decision would acknowledge that Davis was deprived of the chance to fight with his usual reckless abandon in the final 3 rounds, something he might have done had he been aware of his 10-8 scoring deficit in the 9th. Instead, 2 judges scored the round 10-9 in favor of Davis, a pivotal decision that enabled the 3-division champion from Baltimore to escape with a draw, with final scores of 114-114, 114-114, and 115-113. Roach said, "Justice will be doing the right thing, whether they count the knockdown that should have been a knockdown, whether they take into consideration that he turned his back and received assistance outside the ring from a coach. That's unheard of without a disqualification. If they overturn it, that's the right thing to do. If it doesn't happen, that's extra fuel to the fire." A Davis-Roach rematch, following their electrifying first bout that packed 19,250 fans into New York's Barclays Center, is sure to ignite widespread excitement, pitting the relentless Roach against a vengeance-fueled Davis. According to Roach, the rematch will be an extension of the fight from Saturday. "It wasn't just a bad night for Davis," he said. Roach said, "I'm not buying that at all. He did some good things in there and Tank would have beaten a lot of guys that night. It wasn't enough. He felt good. He knew what he was up against. He made slight adjustments, tried to punch harder. That was the real Tank in there, and come next time, it better be a better Tank. Because I'm going to be a better me. He better come with his A game." Roach maintains that he was fully affected by Davis's strongest blows. "Definitely, and I told him that," Roach said. In one mid-fight verbal exchange, Davis told Roach, "I thought you hit way harder than this." Roach responded, "Who are you to talk? You had a 90% knockout ratio and I'm standing right here jawing at you. Come on, bro. You hit me a couple times and I was right here." Roach said the turning point of the night was once I took his best shot. I thought, all right, it's time to get down and dirty. According to Roach, Davis retorted that he would not lose the battle. Roach said, it was him realizing I'm in here with a guy who might beat me tonight, but by the end of the day, he realized, look, dude, I'm the guy, I'm the star. You don't knock me out, you ain't gonna get it. That's what it came down to. It was, he's getting the best of me, but let me tear him down. In his mind, he probably knows he's the A side, the star, the one who brings the money in. It was a competitive fight, but I think I did enough to get the victory, for sure. In addition to Willis's mistakes, Prime Video was unable to obtain a replay of the 9th round knockdown in time to present it to the commission's replay official. Roach said, that looks like foul play. It all points to the obvious. And the obvious would be all those things factored into the fight being scored a draw when it should have been played to my favor, whether it's the points, a disqualification, or the knockdown. According to Roach, he did not want to label the incidents against him as pure corruption. What happened to me was unfortunate. I feel as though I didn't get a fair shake because of the status of the fighter I was fighting. A superstar. A guy who's hands down the most popular draw in America, Roach said. He added, for that to happen to the star against a huge underdog, I don't think it's too far-fetched for people to lean to what they would consider uncommon. Steve Willis started a count. He was, in his nature, doing the right thing. For you to stop the count, even when I said something to him, keep counting, to just brush it off and let the fight continue. It's just crazy, with a lot of explaining to do. And if he doesn't have an explanation, then we can lean to, well, maybe there is corruption. According to Roach, he is not advocating for the dismissal of experienced referee Willis. Roach said, I'm not too harsh. I know people make mistakes. Whether that was intentional or not, we'll never know unless he confesses. I don't hope his job is on the line, but I hope he knows he played a part in something that could have been very huge, not just to me, but to boxing. This will forever be a stain on boxing if this is upheld as a draw because of a knockdown not being scored. His credibility is at stake. WBA President Gilberto Mendoza revealed to The Ring on Sunday that he is set to push for a rematch between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach. Davis, ranked number 8 on The Ring's pound-for-pound list, expressed openness to a rematch during the post-fight press conference, but doubted it would be his next bout. However, Mendoza holds the authority to mandate an immediate rematch. Mendoza said, I think it's not going to be no doubt about having a rematch on this. I think this supersedes the public perception of boxing. Involved here with a huge star for the sport, and we need to send a strong message out there. It was a very controversial night. Mendoza is expected to push for the WBA Championships Committee to vote on an immediate rematch. Roach, who entered the fight as a major underdog, now holds the WBA Junior Lightweight title. If the committee officially mandates a rematch, regulations require it to take place within 120 days. Meanwhile, Davis retains the contractual right to demand an immediate rematch since he did not secure the victory. Mendoza said, maybe Willis saw a competitive fight. Maybe he saw it wasn't a punch. But how can you understand how he put the knee on the canvas? However, given that immediate replay is accessible in New York, it's odd that it wasn't used. Terrence Crawford noted on X following the fight that Floyd Mayweather, after injuring his hand against Carlos Hernandez in 2001, took a knee, a moment that was rightfully scored as a knockdown. Roach is now forced to ponder what might have been and hold out hope for an instant rematch to give him a chance at justice.
What was going through your mind when you heard the decision?
Nobody like a draw, from a guy that get knockouts and things like that, but it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more. And I should have did more. I was lost in I lost track in the rounds. That's why we need what is it called? Yeah, man. I didn't know what round it was. Facts.
Veteran MMA analyst and passionate boxing enthusiast Joe Rogan was left speechless as he watched Davis and Roach deliver a breathtaking performance in their Fight of the Year contender. Rogan responded to the boxing battle between Davis and Roach in a recent Instagram post. Rogan said of Davis versus Roach, watching the replay of the outstanding title fight last night between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach, I had never seen Lamont fight before, but I'm a big fan now. Fight was a draw, but it was an amazing contest, and I really hope they run it back. For the first time in his career, Davis didn't emerge victorious, settling for a draw after an unbroken streak of 30 professional wins. In the lead-up to his bout with Roach, he hinted at retirement, though whether he follows through remains to be seen. Roach stretched his unbeaten run to 7 fights after battling Davis to a majority draw. As speculation surrounding the Davis versus Roach rematch heats up, one thing is certain: Davis is on the hook for a hefty 6-figure payout. At Friday's official weigh-in, tensions ran high as Davis boldly wagered $250,000 that he would stop Roach before the final bell. However, when the dust settled after 12 hard-fought rounds, Roach was still standing, leaving Davis with a costly lesson and a debt to settle. Davis explained that his unexpected decision to take a knee during the fight stemmed from hair grease seeping into his eyes, blurring his vision. In a controversial call, the referee chose not to rule it a knockdown for Roach, a decision that could have significantly altered the course of the bout. If Davis chooses to stay in the ring, a rematch with Roach could be a compelling move for both fighters. In the meantime, Rogan, still buzzing from their grueling 12-round battle, is eager to see them run it back. Now, with a potential rematch on the horizon.
Listen, it was a good fight, man. You know what I mean? And Whitcomb came to fight. Lamont came to fight. They know each other. Just what I tell people, it wasn't gonna be no easy fight. You know what I mean? And I was telling everybody that. Now they understand what I was saying. Them guys knew each other. Plus, they probably used to spar each other. Matter of fact, they did. You spar each other back in the day.
Bozy Ennis has weighed in on why the referee may have given Davis the benefit of the doubt. Bozy Ennis suggested that Davis's influence in the sport is too strong for a call like that to go against him. I see that he started counting, then he stopped. You know what I mean. But you gotta understand, Tank got a lot of power, Ennis told YSM Sports Media on Tuesday. He showed you right there he got power. When asked whether the WBA sees Davis as a cash cow, Ennis replied, "That's what I'm saying. He puts in the seats." Davis possesses a magnetic appeal that has propelled his popularity in recent years. His June 15th victory over Frank Martin last year drew an impressive 325,000 to 350,000 domestic pay-per-view buys in the US, generating approximately $26 million in revenue. The event also pulled in a reported gate of nearly $14 million. This marked Davis's 7th consecutive headlining spot on pay-per-view since making his debut as a main event attraction in 2020 against Martin. Prior to that, his showdown with Ryan Garcia had already showcased his remarkable ability to captivate audiences. In April 2023, his showdown with Garcia proved to be a massive commercial success, racking up approximately 1.2 million pay-per-view purchases in the US and generating over $100 million in domestic PPV revenue. The bout also pulled in an impressive $22.8 million at the gate in Las Vegas's T-Mobile Arena, marking the 5th highest live gate in Nevada's history. Meanwhile, his clash with Roach Jr. set a new attendance record at the Barclays Center, drawing an official crowd of 19,250. The event also secured the 2nd highest gate ever recorded at the venue. As Ennis said, Davis is able to put his butts in the seats, but does it imply he can get away with breaking the law? In response to the question of whether Davis's face being cleaned during a fight ought to have disqualified him, Bozy stated, "That's what they say, that's what they say, that's what I heard." An investigation into the incident has been started by the New York State Athletic Commission. According to the commission, a technical issue prevented the use of a replay within the usual allotted time for review, which led to the incorrect ruling. However, they made no mention that the result could be overturned. Instead, they said that they are dedicated to preserving the integrity to ensure technical issues do not occur in the future. In a letter to NYSAC Executive Director Matt Delalio, Roach Jr., its ACO team, is requesting that the ruling be changed in his favor. However, the chances of it unfolding that way remain slim, which only strengthens the likelihood of a rematch, especially with Davis himself advocating for it. If Bozy Ennis's words hold true, Roach Jr. may find himself battling more than just the odds when they meet again in the ring. Bozy obviously believes that the bout should have ended in a knockdown, but his kid has a somewhat different perspective. Amid the controversy surrounding his bout with Lamont Roach Jr., IBF welterweight champion Jaron Ennis has defended Gervonta Davis. Terrence Crawford is among those who think Roach should have won, particularly after Davis kneed him in the 9th round. Crawford criticized Davis's move, saying, "I never seen someone take a knee, and they don't count it as a knockdown." However, Ennis disagrees with the backlash. "It was a great fight. I had it 7-5 Tank, or you can make it a draw," he told YSM Sports Media. He also believes people are unfairly discrediting Davis. He added, "I feel like people just don't like Tank. Just because he ain't knock him out, they feel like he probably lost." Jeff Mayweather expressed his resentment on the Mayweather channel on Tuesday. The legendary trainer was quite unhappy with how things went down and claimed, "If you go by the rules of boxing, it was a knockdown. That's what they're doing. They're boxing, so yeah, supposed to count it as a knockdown." The 60-year-old claims that Lamont Roach's strike was insufficiently powerful to render Davis unconscious. One thing in boxing is that there are shots that people get hit with, and then it's a delayed reaction. I wouldn't say that because I don't think that the punch was that big. It wasn't a knockout punch or anything like that, he said before adding. But still, when you take the consideration of doing that on your own, you're supposed to be penalized for it. The controversy ignited when Gervonta Davis stunned the crowd by suddenly taking a knee and retreating toward his corner early in the 9th round. Despite what should have been ruled a knockdown, referee Steve Willis chose not to make the call. Instead of starting a count against Tank, he hesitated, opting to let the fight go on with nothing more than a warning. Davis and Roach Jr. delivered a much tighter contest than expected. Through the first 9 rounds of the 12-round bout, Davis connected on 103 of 279 punches, while Roach Jr. landed 112 of 400. Judge Eric Marlinski edged the decision in Davis's favor with a 115-113 score. Had Roach Jr. been awarded a 10-8 score in the 9th round, he would have secured a victory by decision. Instead, the round went to Davis, sealing the final outcome. In the meantime, the 60-year-old veteran also called out referee Steve Willis's errors. He said, "I think that the referee made quite a few mistakes. I mean, once Tank did what he did, he started an 8 count. But he stopped in the middle of giving him an 8 count, he asked with a surprised look on his face. And then he allowed Tank's corner to assist him without even having them permission. So I mean, yeah, there were a few things that was pretty bad in that fight," stated the legendary trainer, showing his disappointment in officiating. Since the bout, referee Steve Willis has faced intense scrutiny over his calls. Even His Excellency Turki Alalshik hasn't held back, taking a swipe at the New York official. Though Jeff Mayweather mentioned that Willis is human just like anybody else, and believes he got caught up in the moment, he clarified, "You gotta make him accountable for both of those situations because that's his job." Jeff Mayweather is one of many people who have criticized the bout's officiating. As the fight ended in a draw, Claressa Shields tweeted, "How much they paying the ref? This is crazy." Ryan Garcia was unhappy as well, and posted a message on X stating, "Lamont won that. Not calling that knockdown is the most wild thing I've ever seen in boxing. That type of stuff makes boxing look bad." So, that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos.